I'd like to welcome you all back. And before we start the Ward 4 Councilor debate, we have Tiona C. Brown, and we have Thomas Edward Dalton.
Thank you.
I'm going to go over the format. First, each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce yourself. The first round, you will each be asked a question by the panelist. You will have 1 minute for your response and 30 seconds for a rebuttal. The second round, each candidate will ask each other a question. Again, you will have 1 minute for a response and 30 seconds for a rebuttal. If there is time after this segment, we will go back to the panelists to ask additional questions. At the conclusion of the debate, all candidates will have 2 minutes for their closing statements, and I will select which order you'll go in. And your timer, we have Emily timing, and so you'll have cards, and she will put up the time, so just be aware of it. We ask that all of you be concise with your answers and respectful of your time. So let's begin with the opening remarks, and we'll start with Tiona.
Thank you. I just want to thank the Chamber and WMCT-TV for having us here at the event. And I am the current Ward 4 Councilor, and I'm very appreciative that the residents of Ward 4 gave me the opportunity to represent them for these past 2 years. And I've learned a whole lot. What I thought it was going to be when I started and what it is. There are some differences. Definitely hopeful to continue this journey and perform another 2 years in office so I can put what I've learned to work and serve the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do you like to be called Thomas?
Tom's fine. Thank you. Hi, I'm Tom Dalton. I'd like to thank WMCT-TV and everybody that sponsored me and gave me the actual nomination to come tonight. Marlborough sure has changed. I've been involved in Marlborough since '72. My twin brother and I were both born at Marlborough Hospital. We were born on Easter Sunday, and just some of the things I've seen change is just heartbreaking. My ward and onto itself, the seniors are suffering due to COVID. They're still coming back with their fixed incomes. They're just really not doing as well as they'd like to be doing. They're fighting to get people more money, but every time you get more money, prices go up. So the fixed incomes of the seniors are going to be more affected, and that's my biggest concern. Is if somebody needs $20 an hour, that McDonald's order then goes up to $15, and it's just really hurting the impact of my seniors and their quality of life. What I can tell you is that my great-grandmother, Marion Barnes, was born here in Marlborough in 1871. So my family goes back many, many years through Marlborough, and we've just seen so many different things. I'm not happy as a walker either, walking down by the City Hall. There's no real pathways, and it's just a heartbreaking situation that I've been working through with myself and the seniors.
Thank you. Okay, we're ready to begin with the first round, and we'll start with you, Bob.
All right, Tom, what do you feel is the most important issue in Ward 4, and how would you address it?
Believe it or not, it's food insecurity. People are still coming back from COVID. Everybody thought that COVID was over, but two of my good friends from the Recovery Connection just went out again with COVID, and one woman actually had an aneurysm after she had COVID. Just people don't know how to get the food. People don't know that Our Father's Table right there on Main Street is open on Mondays and Thursdays. They don't realize that you can go out to Trinity Church on Saturday night for June's Table at 5. They're afraid to go to the food pantry just because it's not their thing. I really want to educate my people and get them out there and get them healthy and well and feeling better.
Thank you. Julie?
Tiona, as a sitting councilor, what do you feel is the most important issue in Ward 4, and how would you address it?
So for me, the biggest current issue in Ward 4 is safety for a few different reasons. So we definitely have seen a population boom on the westernmost end of the city with many apartment buildings and continued growth. We have a lot more businesses on the western end of the city than we did before. And then also, as it had been mentioned in the last debate, with the hotels now also being used to home refugees, there are certain safety situations I've noticed with that, with pedestrian safety. I wanted to speak with Chief Georgie about potentially having more streetlights, because where people are now walking, sometimes it's difficult to see them, and also the fire station being a big issue. I'm sure it's going to come up again. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're through. Julie?
Do you want me to start? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's actually really funny because that's the question I have. We discussed a West Side fire station at the mayoral debates. Would you support it, and how do you feel the city gets it done?
We'll start with Tiona.
Thank you. I absolutely support a West Side Fire Station, and when the last round of talks about the fire station came about, and it was being looked at around the Elm Street Lock Drive area, I was in support of that, and several councilors were as well. From what my understanding is that it fell through because of potential business transactions, which is, not anybody's fault in particular. So I just really look forward to sitting with the new administration in the next term and really working on getting it done, finding a new site, if that's what needs to happen. And I'm ready for it. So, and I think whoever becomes mayor will also be ready for it as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
The block grant that we just got the other day, I think it was yesterday, it could have easily been used, for my understanding, for the fire department. What we're getting is a lot of people want the fire department where new wiring and new buildings have been built, and we can't do that. We have to go back to where older buildings and more people would benefit from the fire department and place the fire department there, and that's part of the conflict. Tiana, 2 years ago when she ran for Ward 4, also wanted the fire department, and I know the fire department is vastly expensive, but we've been hemming and hawing and not getting anything done. We just need to make a decision and get things done.
Do you want to rebuttal? No?
In my first response, or in my original response, I feel like it did kind of speak to that, where I feel like it was more part of a business transaction that fell through, and it did seem like the current administration had just decided that we wouldn't go forward during this particular term, and that it would be on the next administration to get it done.
Okay, thank you. Bob?
All right. So everyone thinks about taxes. What are your thoughts on the tax rate for residents and businesses?
Tom?
People, whether it be business or residents, are just suffering right now. I just saw Acosta Foods, they filed Chapter 11 3 years ago, I think it was. And they're a big food conglomerate out of Jacksonville, Florida. If food isn't affected, then I know that every industry has been affected from COVID. And so to go tax crazy on both the businesses and the individuals, it's just really impacting their quality of life and what they're how they can get things done, and it's not the best idea at this point. Some of that ARPA money throughout the country has been misused. There must be a way that we can give everybody a break and help them to get back on their feet, because we're about to have another round of COVID. I'd hate to announce it, but CHA itself told me, and that's a hospital affiliation in Cambridge.
Thank you, Tom. Tiona?
Thank you. So I feel pretty favorably about our residential and commercial tax rates and the split that we have. As a homeowner, I've seen the value of my home greatly increase, but our tax rates have remained pretty low. So for me, that is offset that expense, and I'm really appreciative of that. I feel like Mayor Vigent, being a CPA, his financial savvy has really come into play there. And I feel like both commercial and residential have been taken into consideration and that the current rates are fair.
Thank you.
Okay, so the question is, why do you want the job? Resume experience, tell me, why do you want it?
Tiona?
Okay. Well, I'd love to continue this job. I grew up here in Marlborough, and when we were leaving elementary school in 5th grade in Bigelow, they asked us all what we want to be when we grow up. And this might not exactly be the job that I want now, but I decided I'd like to be the mayor of Marlborough. So maybe I don't want to be the mayor of Marlborough, but I absolutely love being a city councilor. I love when residents reach out to me over even the smallest of issues. It speaks to what I like to do in general, just helping people, making connections with people, helping them get connected to services they need. So I hope people have thought that I've done a great job at that and would like to continue, so thank you.
Tom?
After moving up to 496 Lincoln Street and witnessing some of the horrifying situations that have taken place in just a generalized area with multiple deaths between March and August, I decided to step up because my family has been affiliated with Marlborough for a very long time, well over 100 years, and to see things go just so poorly in a city, I decided to step up just to see if I could do something and if I could help people, and just some of the suffering, even people with bad contracts with all the flooding, and I just want to help the people because I feel so bad and heartfelt for them.
All right, thank you. Bob?
All right. How do you plan to maintain a business-friendly climate in the city?
Tom?
To begin with, you have to fix all the flooding down on Main Street. The mere fact that some of those businesses were there for over 30 years and had to move to other parts of the city is heartbreaking. The guy who owned the Eureka vacuum cleaner company, he broke my heart when he said I have to go because it's flooding and there's been no control of the foundation, and just you have to really build these people up and make them feel better, and if you're going to be renting them a building, you got to make sure that it's good quality places that they can work out of,
Okay. Tiona?
Thank you. I have gotten to know the people at MEDC since becoming a ward counselor, and I feel like between MEDC and also the work that the chamber does, that both of those entities are great resources for a counselor to reach out to see what the business needs are, or if there are questions from constituents about businesses. I've heard people ask about, why we don't have ABC available downtown, and I would love to see MEDC continue to work with some of the downtown landlords to try to get more variety for our residents.
Okay, so that's going to conclude the first part of our debate. And for the second segment, both of you get to ask each other a question. So, Tiona, would you like to start?
Sure, thank you. All right. Mr. Dalton, I read your patch questionnaire, and in one of your responses, you mentioned that you're seeking office to make Marlborough great again, and I was just wondering what changes you would propose to start working on that goal.
For one thing, I want to see what we can do about downtown or down city parking, because taking all that parking away in front of the city building was just harsh. People not thinking about the seniors and the fact that some of them can't even walk. It's just hard to see some of the redevelopment and the plans that have taken place. And I didn't know any of this was taking place, or I would have been at those meetings to say I object.
Thank you. I just had a quick response. I also share that same concern about parking. I grew up downtown on Newton Street, and one of the things I say is, I saw the parking garages get built to mitigate a situation, and the lot right across the street here built to mitigate a situation. So I'm in full agreement that, especially for our senior residents, the parking should be available.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Tom, your question for Tiona.
Yeah, the whole refugee and just shelters in general. Are you aware that the businesses now, when I transferred my mail over to the shelter, they allowed me to do it no problem. When I tried to transfer it from the shelter to 496, USPS said that it was a business and they couldn't transfer it to 496.
I actually, thank you for asking that question. I was unaware of that. So that is something that I can also look into. I'm not sure if it has to do with any type of a federal mandate because of the Postal Service, but I'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Tom, you're all set?
Yes.
Okay, so we have some more questions, and we'll begin with Julie.
All right. What committees do you feel you can make the strongest contribution to in the city, and why?
Tom?
Definitely the veterans and definitely urban community, and definitely something to do with the seniors. The reason why is because my heart is just, it bleeds for all these people. My grandfather came over from Warsaw, Poland as an immigrant. He was born in 1902, and when he came over, he joined the Army right away as an Army cook. I think he was only 14, don't hold me to it, but just he was a veteran, and my dad worked for Raytheon. So it's important to take care of the veterans first and foremost because you're a military family, but also the as far as the seniors, just some of their voices aren't being heard. Some of them don't have advocates, and some of them don't know who they turn to.
Okay.
Thank
Tiona?
you. Thank you. I think I made a new friend tonight because so when my grandfather came from China, and he also enlisted in the U.S. Army and was a cook.
Yeah.
So that very interesting, interesting connection. So also the Veterans Council would be very interesting for me. My father was a veteran service agent for or officer for many years here in Marlborough, and so just watching him perform the work that he was so passionate about, I would absolutely love to continue to support the veterans of Marlborough, and I've really enjoyed being on the finance committee. I was in the business club in Marlborough High School. Accounting was my least favorite subject, but Mrs. Joan Ledoux was my favorite teacher. And so I did learn quite a bit, and I can put that knowledge to use.
All right,
Thank
thank you. All right. Bob, do you have a question?
Let's see, yes, I do. What are your thoughts and plans for zoning in the city?
Tiona?
Thank you. So zoning touches on the other side of my family. My mom was the secretary for the zoning Board of Appeals for 35 years. She just retired in March. So dinner time conversations, a lot of time were about zoning. What I would like to see is taking a look at the existing zoning and if what it's already zoned for makes sense for the current neighborhood or area. So, for example, we just heard for Robin Hill Street, a request for an over 55 residential overlay. It's currently zoned limited industrial. I heard a lot of residents asking about or talking about traffic concerns and different types of concerns. So that makes me want to look at what could potentially go in a limited industrial. So I think those are important things to look at and consider.
Thank you. And Tom?
I have to be honest, I haven't given it much thought, but what I can tell you is that I've lived in a 55 and older with my mom, and those are all self-governed, and they're not as good as people think they are. Everybody thinks they're all gung-ho, but most of those people don't end up really enjoying themselves at the 55 and olders. Now, as far as the construction right there on Lincoln and Mechanic, we have nothing but rats running up the street. And people don't think of the neighbors when they want to put something in. They just think of their pocketbooks and how much they're going to make. So it's just heartbreaking to see some of the zoning and even the traffic. Traffic used to be an easy ride. I used to drive from Marlborough to Watertown because I worked in Watertown. And even driving, it's hectic. But a lot of that is due to the construction and all the all that's going on downtown, down the city, you know.
All right. Thank you. I think we have time for one more question before closing remarks. And Julie.
Okay. What would be your plan to help veteran-owned businesses start and grow in Marlborough, since you're both passionate about the veterans?
Tom, I'll let you begin.
I would just give them a break overall, tax-wise, and not only would I give them a break, but I'd also try to get the residents of Marlborough to have a break if they shop through the veterans. I don't know what type of plan you could institute for that, but I know there could be one. But some of the things that I've seen, even with one of my friends, if a veteran owns a shop, they have to be very careful as to how they own it, because say if it's a military shop that the veterans own, then sometimes the guys that come in through the military, if they don't have the proper ID as somebody that served or currently serving, then it can cause restrictions. So.
Okay. Tiana?
Thank you. I would work with the veteran community, the Veterans Council, and try to get a feel for what types of businesses veterans might be interested in opening as a starting point, and then seeing what types of programs may already exist to help them get started up. If there isn't already something in existence, then I would want to work with potentially a nonprofit, or maybe even see if somebody wanted to develop a nonprofit to start a program like that. I think that would be really important to, if a veteran wanted to open a business, especially in their own community, to be able to do it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So now it's time for closing comments. And since I started with you, Tiana, I'm going to start with you, Tom. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. My dad was a grant writer at MIT. He was born here, right here at Marlborough Hospital. The man was brilliant. what I'm thinking is Marlborough should reach out to some of these colleges who have the grant writers and see if they can't come up with grants that we could actually come up with to better the community and better just people overall. I know a lot of times grants go just left behind because people don't know that they're eligible or they don't realize that they can actually apply for one. As far as taking care of Marlborough, I've always loved Marlborough. It was so important for my twin and I to be born here in Marlborough. I'm the baby of 7, and just my family does a lot with Marlborough, the surrounding areas, so there'd be a lot of support or community outreach. As far as my brother, he was a chief of staff for a U.S. senator. So when the senators in Congress and whatnot come into Marlborough, I always make a point to come in and greet them. My grandfather actually sat on the stage as a Marlborough politician, Bill Dalton. He was on stage with Kennedy when Kennedy came to town. So basically, all that I'm saying is I have a real love for Marlborough, and I think that people that are suffering need somebody to advocate for them. And I think as a Ward 4 counselor, I'd be able to step it up and help people to have a better life and better just happiness and healthy mental set.
Thank you. And Tiona?
Thank you. I've really enjoyed the last couple of years, as I've said before, and thanks to the residents who elected me the first time, I would love to ask for your vote again. The most important reasons for me to continue representing Ward 4 and the city is I have my most immediate family here. Both of my parents still live here on Newton Street, and my husband, son, and I live on Millham, and my son attends Richer School. He's involved in Marlborough youth sports, and I help. I'm an assistant coach with Marlborough Youth Track. I don't like to promote myself as a runner. Some of you may have seen me, but I really enjoy this community, a lot of the things that we already have to offer, and I want to continue to be a part of its success and making it even better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both very much. And this concludes this segment for the Ward 4 counselor. We're going to take a short recess, and then we'll be back with Ward 6. Thank you.
Thank you.